Hey, 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 thanks for joining me, beautiful souls. Again, 7 o'clock every Thursday night, going to be sharing soulful information for you, spiritual information for you, anything to do with energy in the universe, anything a bit woo-woo or weird. I'm into it. I love it. My name is Jennifer and I am Soul Whisperer Coach. Thanks for joining me. So tonight I got some interesting stuff. Hey, Patricia, how's it going? Got some interesting stuff to share with you. Your body. And if I get my notes right, because they're all out of order, that would be good. Okay, so, this can take up to, I'm going to try and keep it to half an hour. So, whatever time you can share to take a look, I appreciate it. So, thank you. Hello, Patricia. So, how does the body heal itself? So I'm just going to jump in and start right there. There are so many things I want to share with you, but I got to keep it short and sweet because I've got a lot to get through and I've got some really fun facts as well for you. So the body heals itself naturally, okay? You actually heal yourself. Now, doctors, they have their hand in that. They're helpful. Other practitioners, there are so many other influences that have their hand in it. However, it is only you that allows the well-being in or not for your body to heal. This is why we have some people who are responsive to some medicines and other people who are not. So, all the power lies within you. In saying that, you can just relax and realize that medicine does play a part, and I'll explain more as we go along. So do, therapists or doctors or whatever it is. Everything helps. It's just a matter of you choosing and deciding what is right for you, what feels right for you. So the body heals itself. Now, I remember quite a few years ago watching something, I can't remember what it was, and they were talking about how your body, it might have been The Secret, they were talking about how your body heals itself every 2 years. It regenerates itself, it rebuilds itself. Now, I would say it's even moving faster than that. But basically your whole body from the ground up is rebuilt every 2 years. That could even be sooner for some people. Your cells are constantly dying off and replenishing. Now the difference between someone experiencing health or well-being from being sick and someone who isn't is this. Your cells are brilliant communicators. They are an energy, an intelligence form of life on their own. The tricky part is we live inside these bodies, so we think we are our bodies. Now, we are to a degree, but I want you to understand your body has its own life force intelligence. Now, they are receiving information all of the time from source, from essence, from whatever you want to call it, and they are communicating and doing whatever they are being allowed to do. Now, that part comes in with you. So someone who's regenerating their body and is working towards well-being, the cells of their body are receiving those messages and you are open to it. Someone who is reaching for well-being and they are cutting themselves off from it, they're still looking at their sad story, or they're still looking at the story of why they can't heal, or they're still talking about the story of sickness. Those cells don't have access to what they could be receiving. They're actually receiving your story. Okay, this is how powerful you are. This is how you influence. Now, you don't have to necessarily talk to your cells or try to do hard work around it to make yourself heal. You can just pay attention to the way you're thinking and feeling and relax and do things that help you align with your well-being, because your well-being is absolutely there already. So the way that your body heals is there's life force flowing all of the time to you. It flows to everything. That's why the plants exist. That's why this earth exists. There's all life force within every particle of this universe. Even in the dirt, everything is alive. Now, some things look like, inanimate objects. They look like, well, they can't be alive, they're dead, they're not moving. But on a molecular structure, when you break it down and you go into quantum physics, you can start to see that things are actually vibrating and moving. Some things look more alive, like me, for example, right now on the chair, than the chair itself. The chair's not really doing anything, okay? So we've got different structures going on, but everything has life force flowing to it. Otherwise it wouldn't exist, it wouldn't be here. So now I want to say that that's how your body works. So there's life force flowing to you all of the time. And if you find ways to relax, that's how you heal. In fact, stress is the main factor of why people experience disease. And I'll say the word dis-ease. You are not at ease, or illness, or long-time illness, is because you are not opening yourself to the flow. You've shut it off. And I speak about this to some of my clients and it's your soul. So when you're feeling that negative emotion, there's that, if you want to liken it to the top of your head, but it's not necessarily coming just in through your head, it's coming to your body all the time. You are, through negative emotion, you are closing that funnel off where the energy is coming through, so to speak, if you think of it in those terms. And when you relax, you open that valve and you feel it in your body. You literally feel, you feel that tension drop off. So relaxing and finding things that make you feel good are very powerful to your healing. And that's how source and soul and the universe interplays with the life force, okay? So just understand and know this, well-being exists, it is there for you, you can heal from anything, but it has a lot to do with your dialogue, it has a lot to do with your attitude, it has a lot to do with your mindset, and all these things can change over time, not all at once, over time, because you got yourself there so you can recreate yourself, okay? Now I want to talk about medicine, natural medicine versus synthetic medicine. So it doesn't matter necessarily what medicine is being used, it matters more what matters to you. If you prefer natural medicine and you find it works, go for it. But you know, you will find some of those synthetic medicines can work much faster. Now they may not do as good a job sometimes, and sometimes they can. This all happens to depend on the person's mindset. So someone like me, I'm really sensitive to energy, extremely sensitive to energy. It makes me very sensitive to my emotion. I feel like a little bit of negative emotion goes a long way for me. I'm usually a very upbeat person, but I'm that sensitive that if I take a sip of alcohol, I feel it straight away. If I was to take any medication, it works really fast, and sometimes it's even a bit too strong because my body's just so used to doing natural things and keeping my vibration quite high. So some things my body will reject because it's just saying, no, we know what to do, but it has to do with my mindset. So it does come down to your believability in medicine. Now, I'm not telling you to believe it or disbelieve it, but whatever works for you is working because you are allowing it. So whatever you can get your hands on that's going to be helpful to you, that makes you feel better, that gives you some relief, is going to get you to more of your, along that journey of healing. So there's no wrong or right with this. It's just, what is your belief around it? What is your mindset? This is why you get some people who react to cancer medicines really well and some people who don't. It has to do with their energy. It has to do with their resistance, okay? And their desire for well-being, how much they believe. And so that's the next thing I want to move on to. Placebo is so powerful. I just watched something recently with Darren Brown. I love him because his mind, the power of the mind, how clever he uses it. If you want something entertaining, they sometimes are on SBS, but I think even on Netflix, I can't remember. Really fun thing to watch if you're into something, if you like exploring the mind and human behavior and how powerful this man is in the way he can influence people. It's really well done. So placebo, I love that because placebo shows you how powerful some people's minds are. And if you don't know what placebo is, it's just a sugar pill that they give to someone and they tell them that you take this pill every day for 3 weeks or whatever, and this is going to reduce the inflammation, whatever it is that they're creating. And so most people will believe it. And because they believe it, they relax and trust in the medicine or the pill, and they actually have positive experiences. Now, it doesn't work for everyone because, again, it comes down to their belief system. It also depends on their resistance they've got going on. I know for my husband, he definitely takes more synthetic medicines, and the longer you take them, and sometimes the stronger you have to take them. So for someone who's got like really bad migraines, they might start off taking some kind of Nurofen or Panadol. They might find in 3 or 6 months that as those have increased, those migraines, and as they've moved along and haven't actually done other things to relax, then they sometimes turn around and find that medicine doesn't work anymore. I need to keep upping the dosage or stronger medicine because their resistance is getting stronger. So sometimes people will find that, none of that medicine works for me, and that becomes their belief system as well. So there's so much that is involved in your healing, in your dialogue, in the way you think and feel about healing. But like I say, you can change it, okay? And it comes just one thing at a time. So that was mindset. So how to heal your body. So here's some ideas. Okay, so one thing is really powerful is meditation. Sleep is also very powerful. You'll find that when you are not well, you will naturally want to sleep a lot. That's you getting out of the way so the body can do the work. Obviously, there's other things going on. If you've got viruses and all sorts of things, it's using up so much energy that it wipes you out and you do go to sleep. But also, it's natural to sleep because that's where our body heals. It's the same thing at night. You need at least 6 hours, 4 or 5 hours minimum. Okay, some people can live on 5 hours, depends on how they are working their life, but minimum, so that you get out of the way so your body can restructure, relax. When you get out of the way, when you go to sleep at night, because you are unconscious, you are leaving your body, you are not there. What happens is that, that's a woo-woo fact for you. What happens there is that because you are out of the way, the mind, the personality has gone from the body, and in that way, you are not stopping the flow, you see. And this is what happens. The body then is like a sponge. It can absorb so much because you just got out of the way. You're not in there still with your attitude going, oh, how long is this going to take? Oh, I'm sick of being sick and tired. Whatever that's going on within you, those thoughts and feelings, you are out of the way. So a powerful thing to do is when you wake up is to recognize, oh wow, I feel really good, but then don't run off into the negative emotions. You just start it all over again, okay? And you're stopping the healing process. So taking naps, meditation, anything that makes your cork float, anything that floats your boat, so to speak, anything that makes you feel good in a productive, positive way. I'm not talking about doing drugs or drinking lots of alcohol. I'm talking about productive, healthy things that really make you feel good. You will get a natural high, and you're actually increasing that healing, because what happens is you open broader and it flows faster. Again, you're just getting out of the way more and more. So negative emotion and how it makes you sick. Now, I want to say chronic negative emotion. So if you're having chronic negative emotion, chronic negative thoughts, which is a lot over a long period of time, you are cutting off your flow to your life force. This is what creates disease and illness. This is not new to the eastern part of the world. It's very new to Western world. We are all a little bit in the last 20 or 30 years gone, oh really, is that right? And medicine and psychology and the health field is opening up more. I know I've got a girlfriend, she actually does acupuncture. She's a midwife. She does acupressure, not acupuncture. She does that on women And not necessarily when they're giving birth, I don't think. It may be, but even before it. And this is actually recognised. She had to go and do a course. So, you know, what seemed so weird and a bit woo-woo to Western society is now shifting. So Eastern medicine has known this. The Chinese know this. The Hawaiians know this. Who else can I think of off the top of my head? A lot of the Asian countries as well. They are very connected, and you tend to see it also in tribes. They're very connected to the energy, the life force, the land. So, you know, they understand that energy is flowing, and when there's a blockage, something is going on. So things are getting more recognized now in Western society. So chronic negative emotion is going to, over time, okay, this isn't just one bad thought here and there. This is over time and an accumulation of negative emotion or negative thought about a subject that you're creating. You basically create, you know, it starts off small, and then as you think about it, you add to it, and it grows on its own and ends up in this ball of whatever hovering around you, of this thing you don't like, that bung nig that drives you up the wall, that you don't really do much about. It comes and goes, or whatever it is, that story, that's what's going on. So negative emotion, chronic negative emotion over time is cutting off the flow or life force to parts of you. But, you know, the body's always rebalancing. It's always readjusting and reconnecting. And it's really important that you know that, because even when you say things like that, if you're in pain or there's something going on, you can just say that to yourself. My body's so intelligent. It's another way to heal. My body knows what to do. I want to be able to give it a good chance. What can I do for my body that's going to give it its best start in this, or best go? I want to listen to my body. It is intelligence. Listen to it. It will give you feedback. It will say, I don't really like this, what you're doing. Yes, I like that. You know, just feel your body and listen to it. And it's going to change from one week to another. There'll be weeks where you could be more tired. Once upon a time, I would just push through. Now, I just recognize and go, yeah, no, not doing that. I'm just going to take a break. And when I have more energy, I just want to do more. So really, it's about you dialoguing with, you know, listening to your body and you doing what pleases you, and being selfish enough to do that, and not just saying, well, I've got to do this because I told that person I would, even though I'm really absolutely exhausted. Well, that's okay maybe occasionally if you want to, but you don't want to do that too often, because you're ignoring yourself, okay? Even on occasions, I would watch that too. You've really got to look after yourself and please yourself. Okay, so now I want to jump into some fun facts. I thought this would be cool. I've got 9 different, I just picked nine different places in the body to give you a little bit of understanding of how you are so connected with your thoughts and feelings and what goes on with your body. So for example, if you get a lot of headaches or migraines, okay, this is generally speaking. Now there are different variables as to why this could be happening, but I'm just going general here. But mostly it's self-doubt, it's worry, it can also be fear. Because what you're doing is you're doing this again. When you feel negative emotion and strongly, and you start thinking about something a lot and worrying, you are closing off the life force flow. And what happens is, all of a sudden, if you can imagine when you do that, when you slow the flow, it's less energy getting to the body. So you feel more tired, you feel drained, there's less blood flow going on. It's a fact. Like, I know if I get stressed, if I'm worrying about something, which isn't often because I always do the work or I catch myself, but if there's something that ever has really bothered me, I remember years ago, I'd be exhausted. So, you know, that can be one thing. So if you're getting a lot of headaches, I'm not saying don't go to a doctor. Absolutely do what you feel. But some of those headaches can be, look at your thoughts and your feelings around them. What am I worried about? What am I fearing? You know, ask yourself some questions. That may not be right. I'm just making some suggestions. Throat issues. Okay, not... what have I got? I can't even read. Not expressing the self, locked in anger, creativity. So this is something I've witnessed for many years, have studied it, and I can see straight away when someone's got something going on in their body, you know, some of it does pass fastly, but if it's been there for a while, I can really get into that energy, and I don't ask them, I just hear them talk, and you totally can see that's exactly why they've got what they've got. So throat is communication. This is all very easy. Anyone can understand this. It's really simple. Your throat is communication, it's creativity, it's also the area for audible, for hearing. So it's what am I hearing or not hearing? What am I expressing or not expressing? Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Sore throats, things like that. Some people say, oh, it's because you get a cold. You get a cold for various reasons. If you get angry and you're not expressing yourself, or you are expressing yourself with a lot of anger, this area starts to flare up. Again, there are many variables as to why someone gets a cold. I'm not going to go into it. That's a whole nother episode. So, arms and hands. I just thought I'd chuck them in at the same time. So your arms are, you know, and your shoulders, well, that's a different one. But let's just do arms and hands. It's what you're reaching out for, receiving and giving. Hands are, you know, what you're touching, what you're wanting to touch, what you're not wanting to touch. So if you have some chronic thing going on, you can stop and say, what is it that I'm thinking or about that part of my body that is making me feel off or negative? So is it I don't want to embrace something? Is it that I embrace too much? Because you can get out of balance by doing too much. You need to give and receive all of the time. It's an ebb and flow, in and out, in and out. And this is constant, in and out, the energy. So the next one is number 4, your chest or your breast area. Now this one's really important for women, although men do sometimes get diagnosed with breast cancer. But the breast area, the chest, is your connection to love, love of the self, love of others, love of your world. It's also about forgiveness or lack of forgiveness. It's also about guilt. I know I experienced something myself in the past. I won't talk about it because I believe that once something's done, you talk about it again, you can reactivate things. But definitely that area there, a lot of women, and again, there's many variables, but it's about sometimes we give everything. We just give so much. And then when we don't feel appreciated or we don't get back what we want, we have resentment. And this is where we build anger and resentment towards others, and it can be loved ones as well. It could also not be loved ones. It could be resentment you're holding on to for something someone did or said or whatever from the past. It doesn't hurt them, it hurts you. Why? Because their energy is flowing and you are not allowing it. That's all healing is. It's just, am I receiving the energy or not? And there's only two emotions, love and fear. Of course, under love, there's all the positive emotion, and under fear, there's all the negative emotion. So I'm either finding a way to feel that positive emotion under the umbrella of love, and if I'm not, and I'm experiencing a lot of negative emotion, like hate, a lot of hate for a really long time, it creates disharmony because that's not who you are. It stops the flow, and now disease sets in. So what happens is, if you can imagine a river flowing beautifully down a stream, and it's hydrating and it's running all over everything, and it's just perfect. Then imagine that same stream, and I go and put some sticks and I narrow the stream, or rocks even, to narrow it to the point where I close it right off so the trickle stops. Guess what's going to happen sort of down here? There's no water getting to that area, so it dries out. So it's the same in your body. If it's not getting the flow and the blood flow and the life force energy, you are creating a stagnant part in your body, which creates disease, okay? All right, so next one is, we're on number 5, bowels. So people have bowel issues. I see this often. people who have like irritable bowel syndrome, or people who have like bowel cancer, or anything to do with their bowels, your bowels are about letting go, literally, okay? If you are, again, angry or hanging on to shit from the past, oh my God, I just realized what I said, literally. That sounds terrible, but it's true. If you're hanging on to stuff from the past and not letting go, then again, the movement is not happening. That you're hanging on to anger, you're hanging on to frustration, resentment, hate, whatever it is, and you are storing it, and everybody stores differently. You are storing it down there in your gut, in your bowels. And this is why people end up with problems. It's not necessarily just diet. Again, another variable, but it has to do with the way you think and feel. And I'll say this strongly because there are people out there who live on crap diets, and they are happy and appreciative and grateful in life, and they have nothing wrong with them at all. So you sort of go, okay, so how come they don't get sick or disease? And the doctors will say, oh, because they got good genes. Maybe, but it's your attitude. It's your attitude. I know a lady, okay, she's my auntie's mother. She is 100 years old. She looks like she's maybe 80, 85. And her attitude is amazing. That woman, I've never seen someone so upbeat. Now, she lost her husband many years ago, but her attitude, you watch the people who have really good attitude in life, or they find a way to have a good attitude, and they're happy, and they don't have hardly anything going on with their body. And even if it does, it comes and goes really fast, because their body is like a... watching the time here. Their body is like a... it's a space that dominates well-being, because you can't be happy all the time and have illness within you. And some people will disagree and argue and say, I knew such and such, who was my auntie, who was happy all the time, and she ended up with a disease or cancer or something. But here's the thing, you can't really know how that person is really feeling, meaning some people are faking happiness, okay? So it's just an inside job, it's individual. And there's other variables that come into it. Again, I won't go into that, but so bowels are letting go or not letting go. If you've got some bowel issues, there might be some stuff there that you just need to let go of. It can just be also, sometimes things start for one reason and continue for another. Like me, for example, with my eczema, I used to, before I knew about any of this work, I used to know it was emotional. And I did various things. I went chemical free. This is going back a good 15 years ago now. I did so many things and it got worse. So it told me that it wasn't just what I was eating or my non-chemical environment. There was something else going on, and I knew it was emotional. But here's what happens. So even if you've got something going on your skin, it can start for one reason. Now, eczema is related to irritation, frustration. I know that for sure, because it comes and goes with me, and I know it's because I'm frustrated about something. So even if I address that, the fact that I look at it and I see it, I get irritated with that. So it's like a double whammy. So things can start for one reason, an emotional reason and a thought, but can continue just by the mere fact that I look at it now and it frustrates me, you see. So this is why there's a few different things, you know, with the journey of some things. They start from one thing, but they create into something else, and now just the mere fact of me looking at it, observing it, keeps it going. So this is another thing you need to weigh up. This is why it's really important to focus on things that make you feel good. Look at it and say, you know, it will get better. It's really a dialogue how when you're rubbing your cream on, for example, how you are with yourself all the time, because the cells are trying to receive everything, but it's the story you're telling yourself. It's the expectation. And things can change dramatically, like clear up super fast. All of a sudden, when you let go of the resistance and the old story you've been telling and you start telling a new story, it can be super fast. It's scary in a good way. Hips, number 6. Okay, inability to move forward. and fear of the future. So if you've got any hip problems, it can be, generally speaking, you think about your hips. They are something that move us forward in life. So there can be fear sometimes if you're going into something. If you've got some hip pain or hip problems, it could be fear of the future. People often worry about the future way too much, so they're creating stuff into their future now, and this can cause problems as well. So number 7 is the spine, is a really important one. So the spine is support. It's the gateway, okay? Someone who's feeling unsupported in life by their partner, by life, by their family, by the universe, they will develop spinal problems. It's a lack of feeling supported. So again, it's a story you tell yourself. Do I feel supported? Can I find a way to feel supported by something somewhere? Something is supporting me. So it really does have a lot to do with how you tell the new story. Your feet moving forward, stability, footing, foundations. If you've got any foot problems or too many foot problems going on, if it's chronic and it's happening, most of these are things that coming and going in the same place. Like if you've got sore wrists on and off, or if you chronically have wrists sore all the time, this is where you want to look at cleaning up some of the thoughts and feelings of how am I feeling about my flexibility in life, okay? And feet are the same. How do I feel about moving around? How do I feel about standing? How do I feel about my foundation in life? How do I feel about my foundation where I'm standing right now in my home? So anything that causes you to feel unstable, you send a message to your body, and that's the story you tell it. You tell it that time and time again, not even just by what you're thinking, but what you're feeling, because your feeling is just an extension of how you think. Your feeling is that it's a sentence going out to your body. Number 9, last one, lower back. Okay, this is a really good one to be aware of. Not really be aware of, but this is a good one to know. If you get lower back pain, and again, some people will say, oh, it's because I've been digging all day, or it's because this is the work I do, and da-da-da. It's your attitude to it, firstly, but also it has to do with down in that lower chakra there, the base root chakra, down in your lower back. That's where you need to feel supported in life. So that's also about family, money, home, safety, and security. So that's really everything. Like when you don't have those things, it's shaky ground. And this is why masseurs, they will massage you, really good ones. And if your neck is out, then it's usually coming from your hips, which is your lower back as well, which can be affected by your thoughts and feelings around your life. Okay, so definitely how to get around those things, because you might say, well, I do have concern about this, and I do have concern about that, and I do have concern about that. Well, that's okay, but you need to address them. You need to soothe them. You need to find a dialogue that sort of goes, I've gotten this far. It's okay. I can find a way to figure stuff out. Because if you don't soothe yourself, that's how you get anxiety. That's how you get worry and doubt. You live a life constantly of, can I feel all right? Am I going to be all right? That's an uncertain, constant energy you're putting out. And your energy of well-being is the one that you want to connect with. And the way you connect with is by doing things that make you feel that. So whether it's meditation, going for a walk along the beach, anything, I'm not even saying to tell you what to do, anything that actually soothes you and makes you feel that connection to your well-being, that's how you know there's well-being. And anytime you have a moment where you're running off out of your tree and you're not feeling stable or you're feeling uncertain, just come back to that feeling of, hang on a minute, things do work out. It will be all right. I love that feeling when I go for that walk. I love that warm blanket feeling around me that makes me feel safe. It makes me feel so very good. And this is a warm blanket that you can give yourself a hug from the inside out, because that is the greatest connection to your soul you are feeling. You are touching your well-being, or rather allowing it to touch you. And I'm watching the time here, so I'm going to wrap this up. Okay, so common sense, it's relative to your body is relative to your life. So those things I've just given you, they don't have to be exactly that's what it is for you. Just pay attention to what's the thoughts or feelings that I've been thinking that are causing me to not feel free, or whatever it is. But use your common sense. You know, if it's around your head, it's what you're thinking about. If it's your arms, it's what am I embracing or not, and all of those things I've just talked about. But listen to your body, it'll give you your own message, and just ask it the question and let it go, and in time it will come. And like I say, don't get too caught up in this. It's not about a little niggle here and a little niggle there. Like, if you're not hardly having anything like that going on, you don't want to be too concerned about it. You know, it's just energy. It'll come and go. But if you've got chronic stuff going on, then you really do want to look at, this keeps happening on this part. You know, what can I do to soothe it? Because we soothe things physically with medications and all sorts of things, natural or synthetic, but we need to soothe the inside out. That's where you hook into the healing. So your body is a manifestation of your thoughts and feelings. Let me see just real quickly over my notes. Be kind to yourself, okay? Your body, your family, your life. And do anything that distracts you from your well-being. Do anything that distracts you to your well-being, and it's powerful to your well-being, meaning whatever distracts you from anything that's going on in your life, whether you've got pain or something you don't like, do things that help it. Do things that make you feel better. Do things that distract you to take you away from some of that pain, whether it is emotional or physical. Because as you do that every time, and as you do that more and more, you expect it, it becomes a part of you, then you're hooking into your well-being, and then it flows. So that's pretty much it. So well-being and healing is within you. It starts with you, it finishes with you, and anything that you can do for yourself that's going to help, whether it's traditional medicine, whether it's natural, synthetic, whatever, just know that there's stuff there that can help you. Even though your body can heal itself, all of these things help as well. So in saying that, thank you for joining me. If you would like to reach out to me, I do 15-minute chats. I'll punch in a booking down there. You can jump on and book a 15-minute session with me. I help women mostly. I get the occasional man. I help women mostly to let go of their emotional baggage, to let go of negative emotion, of events that are showing up in their life, of things from the past, and it's continuing now in their life. I work from a very soulful, spiritual space. I am also certified in NLP, hypnotherapy, timeline therapy, and I am also an empath, a sensitive. So I receive in soul channeling. So I actually do connect with your soul, and it makes the sessions even more powerful. So you can reach out to me, and other than that, thanks for joining me. I hope you got a lot out of this. I'd love to hear from you. If you want to put in some comments, or if you want to reach out, just go right ahead. So big love. Thanks for joining. Bye for now.